So once again, good morning, everyone. So yesterday we have defining the swing options, okay, and we discussed up to RMA receipt routing, okay, RMA receipt routing. Let me set the values. I'll just want to give warning here, and this will be 2 days, and this will be 3 days, right? And days exceed action. I want to have warning, okay, and this will be, I guess, we set up 98 percentage tolerance, okay. It's again warning. Okay, fine. So RMA receipt routing. So RMA receipt routing. So whenever you receive the items into your organization, which is returned by customer, maybe customer is returned, maybe the product might be damaged, maybe he don't need the item. Okay, there may be any reasons why he sent return that. So when he return, how do you go and receive the item into our organization? So we know three receipt routings: direct, standard, and inspection required, right? Inspection required. So again, why we need RMA for return material? Why we need all this? We can simply go ahead and do deliver, receive the item, right? Okay, it's not like that actually. Okay, it's not like that. So because whenever a customer is return the item, right, we need to make sure whether the same item we sold to him, the return item, whether the same item we sold to him or not. So how do we make sure? The people, the quality checking people, the inspection people, the first thing they will check the serial number, right? The serial number they'll check. So that kind of, okay. And maybe when he's returning, he might give in the comments like saying this is not working, that is not working. But when we receive it, it might be working, and some other parts in that product might be missing, okay, might be missing. It's not like actual product we sent and we return, we taking back. Something is missing in that product. For example, the customer is ordered a washing machine, okay, and it is went to them, and we have to check, right, whether inside all everything is there or not. If any components is missing in inside the washing machine, it again cost huge, correct? So those kind of things they will make sure to check. So that's the reason for RMA also we need to have receipt routings. And again, it's up to company whether to choose inspection required or standard or direct. So Oracle will give you options: default direct delivery. It's up to business to choose which one. So I'll choose inspection required. Okay, fine. And this is receipt routing. Okay, receipt routing. It's like PO receipt routing. You can say PO receipt routing. So whenever your supplier is sending the item to your organization, so how do you go and receive the item? Do you directly receive the item into a sub inventory, or do you want to first receive it to your receiving place and then do the and then make space in the warehouse and then do delivery transaction? Or do you want to have inspection? You want to have your quality team to check if there is any damage, if there is any like if the functionality is working or not. Okay, if you want to check those things, then you have an options. If it is directly the item will be transferred to your storage sub inventory. If it is standard, so you will receive the item into your receiving place, you'll keep it there for a temporary, okay, and then you will make some arrangements to keep these items in the warehouse, like the storage sub inventory. And then you will inform the people who actually working there, right? Or maybe the small trucks in the warehouse will pick the items from the receiving place, and they will move it to some specific storage area. So that is standard receipt. Okay, and inspection required. So first you will receiving the item into receiving place. Okay. And you will send the item into quality department. So else you will send the quality department itself will come to the receiving area and they will do check. If accepted, then they'll perform delivery. Okay, fine. So next is allow substitute receipt. So we know this word. What is substitute, right? The meaning of substitute is something like you need one item, but the same item is not there. Are you okay to buy other item? Okay. Are you okay to buy other item? So in that case, we can use this allow substitute. Okay. You can use allow substitute. If you enable this, then we have to define substitute relationship with the item. Okay. It's just like symbol. If you tell in a just normal example, for example, home example only, if you tell like you're going and purchasing, okay, some brand rice packet, maybe just assume India Gate, okay, rice packet, okay, but that rice packet is not there. Are you okay to buy another brand? If you okay to buy, then it's like substitute item. So you actually went to the shop to buy one item, for example, item name ABC, but that item is not there. But same similar functionality which is having ABC, same similar functionality have another item. So if you are willing to buy, right, then that's called substitute, right? Substitute. So if you want to use those kind of substitute item procurement and all, then we can use this. It is something like simple. You create a PO with one ABC item and send to supplier. And when supplier is shipping the item, supplier will inform you saying that this item is not there. Will you okay to receive another item? The item also same having similar functionality, similar characters, and the price also same. He will inform. If you are agree, then yes, you can pretty much you can receive the item different item. But PO level different item, in receiving level different item. To accept this, we have to do item relation. Okay, substitute item relation setup. But again, initially you have to enable this. When you enable this, then only you can use the substitute item functionality. Okay, fine, fine. So next is allow unordered receipts. So if you see this word, we know what is ordered, right? What is ordered? Ordered something before procuring the material, you have a purchase order. Ordered, ordered means it's like before procuring the material, like before even receiving the material, you have purchase order. That purchase order is sent to your supplier and you're communicating and with the reference of purchase order, you are receiving the items. Okay, that is ordered. But what is unordered? It is something like you don't even have a order. You don't even have a purchase order, but you will make receipt if you enable this checkbox. So this is comes in very rare case. In companies, right? The purchase order released to the supplier. Okay, purchase order released to the supplier, and the supplier is about to load the items in the truck, and he is about to send the item to our place. Okay, and sudden basis in your organization, some requirements came, and you need a few more items. You need few more items, but those items not listed in the purchasing document. Okay, those items not listed in the purchasing document, but you just communicated to your supplier over the phone or over the email or over the any chat group. Okay, and the supplier is okay, agreed to send, but those items are not listed in the purchase order. Okay, If you want to use that kind of scenarios, okay, then you have to enable this allow unordered receipt. It is simple. You don't even have a purchase order, but you will receive the item. You will only just receive the item, but you cannot do deliver transaction. It is something like, if we go here in another case, right? You only receive the item into this place. But again, if you want to do deliver transaction, you have to match the purchase order. Okay. It is like after you receive the item, then you are going and purchase, then you are going and creating a PO, and that PO item and the received unordered receipt item, you are matching it and making approval. Okay, fine. So whatever is there here, right? These are all right. All these are interview questions only. Even these are all also. So that's why I told you initially in the setups point of view, we will spend more time. Okay, we will spend more time. All these are interview questions only. It's just simple, just one or two lines answer only. Okay, but we need to know where the setup is available and how it will work. Okay, fine. So I will just disable this. So we'll discuss each and every. Now what we are doing, we're doing setups and we are discussing theory, right? But in practically, when we come to this topic, we'll discuss how the topic has to be executed. Means how the scenario we have to perform. Okay, fine. So next is allow express transaction. Allow express transaction. So we know transaction like performing a transaction with receipt routings and all. But again, what is this express? If you see this word, right, express. In generally, we have even if you just take an example of buses, okay, we have express bus and we have the buses which will go for villages. Can anyone tell any difference between the buses will go for villages and express bus? You can say Palle Velugu bus and express bus. Any differentiation between those two?
The stoppings, bus charges is a difference.
But charges is different. Okay, then other
Stoppings, bus
stops.
stoppings
Okay,
are different.
bus stops. Okay, okay. If you take the bus which we go for villages, it will stop on each and every stop, right? Each and every stop, it will stop. But express bus, it won't stop. They will be having decide bus stops locations where they have to stop, right? In those bus stop locations only, the bus driver will stop the bus. So that's called express, right? They won't stop in each place. Okay, the in place they won't stop. In a similar way, we have express transaction. Okay, it is like quick transaction. For example, your receipt routing is inspection required. And if you use this allow express transaction in just one single kick, you can perform all receive, acceptance, deliver transaction. In which, okay, so now let's understand in which scenario this transaction need for the business. Okay. So this transaction is needed for the business in very rare scenarios where they have already performed inspection activity and everything long back only. Maybe it might be on last week itself they have performed, but they have not done entry in the application. Okay, they have not done entry in the application. They might forget. So now they have to complete quickly. It's okay. They have done inspection and everything. Everything is accepted and everything is fine. They don't want to spend for doing a receive and inspection and deliver transaction. It's like time taking process and they have like 200 or 300 lines to do that. Okay, so in those cases, if they use this allow express transaction, they can by just single click they can perform all receive, acceptance, deliver transactions. Okay, fine. So anyone clear? Everyone clear, right? Okay, fine. So next is Cascade. Allow Cascade transaction. It is something like you buy the item with one UIM and then do the receiving activity with the different UIMs. Okay, with the different UIMs. Okay, in purchase order level, you have different UIM. UIM means unit of measure, the item unit of measure. Okay, the item unit of measure you have different. But while doing the receiving activity, you can have you can do receiving activity with a different UIM. So just an example, you are buying a mm, you're buying a some beverages, okay, cool drinks. You are buying some cool drink. So basically, you given the cool drinks like each one like that you count you given in the PO level. Okay. So for example, 100 cool drinks you have ordered in per PO. Okay. In PO you have ordered 100 cool drinks. While doing the receiving activity, okay, while doing the receiving activity, you are receiving it in boxes or in case. The case may have 25 or 50. Just assume it's like 25. So in cases you are doing the receiving activity, which means four cases equal to 100 cold drink. Okay, if you want to have that kind of receiving activity, then we can use Cascade. Okay, fine. So next is allow blind receiving. So if you see this word blind, it is something like you don't know how much quantity is there in PO. You just receiving the like you just entering the quantity which is you received physically, counting it and entering in the system and doing the receiving activity. So you will understand this when we start receiving activity. Okay, so basically here whenever you do receiving right against a PO, then whatever the PO quantity is there, that will default in the receiving section, and it is up to the receiver to update the quantity. It will default whatever is there in PO. For example, if in PO level it is 500 is there, it will default in the receiving level 500. But it's again up to the business to modify the quantity. Okay, modify the quantity. So which they received physically, they have to. So just an example, PO created with the 500, but they have received 400 quantity only. So in that case, system how what it will do? It doesn't know right how much quantity supplier sent. If you give ASN advance shipment notice, it will fine, but you don't have ASN functionality a supplier not enabled. So in that case, whatever is there in the PO level, 500 quantity will default in the receiving level. And sometimes users may do mistake, they just enable the checkbox and they will perform transaction. So in that case, physically you have received 400, but systematically it is tracking you have received 500. So if you want to restrict that kind of mistakes, then we can use allow blind receiving. So when you use this allow blind receiving, the PO quantity will not default in the receiving level. While you're doing the receiving right, the PO quantity will not default. It will always come with 0. Okay. And it is up to the receiver task. He has to go and count how much he received and he has to enter the quantity. Okay. Fine. Fine. So this is validate serial number on RMA receipts. Okay. So if we enable the checkbox, right, then it has to link, it has to match the serial number which you sold. Okay, the serial number item which is sold to the customer, right? Whenever he return the item, that serial number has to match. That means you have to enter the serial number and you have to match if you use this. Okay, so why serial number need to validate? We don't know, not all customers, not everyone is perfect, right? Maybe someone buy one laptop, okay, and he have same laptop which he bought last 1 year back or last 6 months back or even last 1 month back. He bought it some from some other shop, retail shop or some other shopping portal. He might bought. Okay, he might bought. Then when we return, when he returning the item, okay, he return another product which he bought long back. That product he's returning, but which he received, that is there with him. Okay, it is something like illegal activity he's doing. Okay, so in that case, how do you rectify and validate? If you use this validate serial number and receipts, the system will not allow you to save the form until you validate the serial number. They have to enter the serial number which the product is back to organization, means which is returned to organization. Okay, fine. So next is receipt number generation. So all this we will perform. Okay, I'm not enabling now. Okay, I'm not enabling now. Okay, I just enable this. But in when we doing right, the test scenario, we'll use all this. Okay, we'll perform all these transactions. Fine. So when we perform that scenarios, right, you come back and watch this recording so that you will be having a clear. Okay, clear. Okay, so receipt number generation. So receipt number. So far we discussed PO numbers, equation number, RFQ and quotation, right? Again, receipt means one PO can have multiple receipts. Okay, one PO can have multiple receipt numbers. So you can say some business language, GRN. Okay, goods receiving note, GRN. In Oracle terminology, we call just receipt or PO receipt. Okay, receipt or PO receipt. Fine. So that number, how do you want? Okay, and this is like number generation automatic, and this is receipt number type. So alphanumeric or numeric, anything. I'll go for numeric. Okay, and this has to start from 5000 or 4 zeros, right? I think, yeah, this fine. Okay, 5000 is my receipt number. Okay, fine. So validate lot on RMA receipts. So this is also same lot numbers on RMA receipts. Okay, fine. So I'll just go for restricted with warning. Okay, fine. Come down. So any doubts on this receiving on this options level? Any doubts? Any questions? Okay. Next is receiving inventory account. So this receiving inventory account we set up in inventory receiving options. Okay. It is basically whenever you do receiving activity, right? This the account will hit immediately. Receiving inventory account. The account combination will come from here. Okay, will come from here. So next is retroactive price adjustment account. So retroactive price adjustment. If you see this price adjustment, okay, retroactive price adjustment. So it is something like the PO is created long back. Okay, long back, and like means you can say last 6 months back the PO created or 1 year back the PO created. It's kind of agreement. It's an agreement, and as per the current market, it might be, so most of the cases the price will increase only, it won't decrease. Okay, it might be increased, or in very rare case the price is decreased. So in that case you have to the supplier is requesting to update the price, means requesting to increase the price. For example, last 1 year back the item price is there 1 lakh, but now the item price is 1,20,000. Supplier may not provide you with the same 1 lakh. If you provide, he will not get profit. Okay. So in that case, we have to update. So we have to update source documents. When I say source document, all top level agreements, blanket purchase agreements, we have to update. So whenever you do update, right? Whenever you do update that, then the releases, the receiving, everything will be updated. So when it is updated, that updation details will store in this retroactive price update account. This account will tell you how much adjustments happened. Okay. And this is like clearing account. Okay. We'll see this when we do accounting, when we are going to discuss P2P accounting. Okay. We'll get to know all of this clearing account, all of. Okay. Fine. So now what we have to do, we have to create receiving inventory account and retro price adjustment account. Let's go and create. We don't have, right? Setup, setup flex field, setup flex field, validation, values. ABC account, come down 1026. This is just go with the default 1027. So 1027, I'll go and choose this retroactive. Okay, retroactive price adjustment account. Retroactive price adjustment account. 1028 clearing account. Save it. Okay, now go back to this screen. So we are in this screen for a long. Okay, sometimes if it is more than 30 minutes and all, right, if we not do anything in the form level, then it will get expired, means the form will be getting inactive. Again we have to refresh, again we have to reopen. Let's see. Just select purchasing department. So this account is last one, last receiving inventory account, this one 1026. Okay, there is no any combination, just click on create, choose this button and select. Okay, sometimes, right, this create button will not enable. If it is not enabled, that means in chart of account, allow dynamic insert. Okay, allow dynamic insert, you might be forget to enable. So that's the reason you won't get this create button enable. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to go and manually define the combination in the GL code combinations. So that is totally finance task. We can also define, but not in, for practice purpose. Yes, you can pretty much go and define, but in real time and all, so you will be having a finance consultant. Okay, fine. Retro active price adjustment account, select it. Next is this purchasing, and this is clearing account. Last one 1028. Search. Now click on create. Select this. Okay, select this and click on save. Click on save. Okay, it changes has been saved. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, so we have completed receiving options. So next is this three means financial options, purchasing options, and receiving options. Most of the questions will come from these three setups only. Okay, those three setups we have completed. We have completed. So next we have to go and create jobs. Okay, the employees jobs. So in basically in real time, so the jobs and position will be created by HRMS functional or HRMS business team. Okay, when I say business team, it's like business users, they'll create, but we don't have any of those HRMS people, right? So we'll go and create for our practice purpose. Okay, so what we will do is, so we have just how many minutes left? We have 3 minutes left. So let's connect again. We'll have a separate session for that. Okay. So how do you follow? Now we have to go and create jobs, position, and approval hierarchies and everything. So what we do is, for each setup, we'll maintain one session. So it will be helpful for even watching you also later in future. Okay. Fine. So let's connect again quickly and we'll start.